Welcome everybody to Talk Madrid. We'll be doing the player ratings for Real Madrid versus Real Valladolid. We've won 3-0. It was close pretty much up until probably about the 80th minute. It was only 1-0. Not until the subs came in did we start to see the score actually kind of run up. But let's just get right into it. So as you hear it, Real Madrid's best players tier list maker. Everyone, I'll put the link into the chat so everyone has the opportunity to go and see that. But that is not it. Let me go to mine. Give me 1 second while people come in. All right. Okay, so we'll start with Valverde. I would think that Valverde was the man of the match with a 9. I would definitely say because he had a goal, and yeah, I think he had just the goal, no assists today. But with that, he was everywhere. He affected all the play, whether it's starting the attack or whether it's defensive cover or playing balls in behind, and being proactive with a lot of his approach. He was everywhere. I still think that him and Tchouaméni are still trying to figure out what the best position is for both of them, and kind of understanding like when one goes and one stays. Obviously, that's going to be a work in progress, probably up until about Christmas, even later. But I do think that he is trying to take on more responsibility, similar to what Cruz did, with initiating the offense. So, like I said, I had him an 8, but also with the goal today, I'll give him a 9. Vinicius. I will give Vinicius a 7. I'll give Vinicius probably like a 7.5 or so. Once again, he showed up in spurts today. He had some moments of brilliance, moments of Brazilian flair, but also, what comes with Vinicius is sometimes, he likes to dribble in his own half, and it may cause us some problems. Him and Mbappe are still trying to figure out how to play with one another. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress for probably most of the front three. And just getting used to playing with Mbappe and like occupying similar spaces and understanding like where, people like to run and what tendencies everyone has. So I'll give I'll give Vinicius a 7. Tchouaméni I'll give a 7. I give a 7 just probably not so much from his play, but what he's not doing. I like to think that Tchouaméni can offer a lot more to the team. And, maybe this rating might be a little biased, and I'm not exactly sure what the tactics are from Ancelotti, but I do believe that Tchouaméni can actually, do more. I've seen it with the France national team where he does take on the deep lying playmaker, and rather than playing so many balls, what the heck is that? Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, so with Tchouaméni, with France, he actually plays the deep lying playmaker, and he actually initiates a lot of the attack and plays a lot more vertical. But it seems when he plays for Real Madrid, whether that's because a lot more teams are sitting back and more of a low block, he seems to be going, it's like a lot of sideways. A lot of times I feel that he kind of slows down the tempo of the game. and, makes a pass, makes a 5-yard pass when he can easily, bypass that player and make that 10-yard ball all the way out to Carvajal or the ball out to Fran, rather than having to pass it to, Rodrigo, who's 5 yards, or passing it to Valverde, who then makes the ball out to Carvajal. That gives enough time for any player, whether, be Mallorca or Valladolid, their players to be able just to, once again, just transition over, slide over and make that defensive cover. So I do think that he can take on a little bit more responsibility, but also, play a little bit faster. Rodrigo. Rodrigo's a high 8. I'll give him an 8.5, honestly. I thought he was kind of everywhere. He was consistently an attacking threat. He was picking up the balls in dangerous positions. Whether it be on the right or whether it be underneath the striker. Sometimes he popped up on the left. I thought he had an excellent game. I think out of the past 2 games, Rodrigo's probably been the best out of the front 3. I don't know, like I said, maybe he just has a different role. Maybe it's because the, words of encouragement from Ancelotti and, talking to his camp and letting him know that, he is, appreciated. I had a lot of, I had some criticisms about that because I was like, this is Real Madrid. We don't usually do that with our players. It is a privilege to play for the club. And if players don't want to leave or are unhappy, there's the door kind of situation. But I do also recognize how important he is to our attack. Like I said, there are moments that I see when everything is clicking that it's really frightening. It's just that one pass, that little lack of quality, and it breaks down. But you can kind of see what's going to happen. You can see the combinations between Rodrigo and Vinicius and Mbappe, and then Arda Güler plays them in and stuff like that. You can see the makings of that. So it's, like I said, still work in progress. I'm trying not to overreact because obviously, we won 3-0. It was a little close. It was 3-0, but it was close up until about the 80th minute or so. So like I said, I'll give Rodrigo an 8. He was kind of everywhere, just like Valverde, and it was very dangerous. Probably should have had an assist, probably, with that ball, the ball over top, I believe it was Militao to Rodrigo, took an excellent first touch that took the defender out of the game. And then for whatever reason, he wanted to roll it, whether it was to fake the goalkeeper. And then he had a poor pass to Vinicius, who was wide open on the square. Rudiger had I'll give him a high 7, 7.9 or so, or probably 7.5 to 7.9. He had a pretty good game. There were some lapses of, concentration, but like I said, he was really solid. Didn't really put much of a foot wrong. Was very physical with their forward and kind of took him out of the game. So I thought another good outing from Rudiger. It wasn't his best, but definitely wasn't a bad performance from him. Luka Modric, ever since he came in, he was great with controlling the pace and tempo. It seemed just like normal from last season when, whenever you had Toni Kroos or when you had Luka Modric. He just makes things tick. Everyone's really comfortable, with Luka Modric in there. There's a sense of calmness when he's in there because he really just takes control and takes, responsibility of really kind of just, recycling the ball and making sure that everyone gets touches. So a good, solid performance from Luka Modric. I actually thought he was going to start. He was going to start from the beginning and actually have Arda Güler come in then the final 30 minutes or so. But, Ancelotti thought it would be good to have Arda Güler start and have Luka Modric come in with limited minutes. Mbappe. I would put Mbappe at a 7 as well. I think Mbappe made a lot of runs in behind that, he didn't get the balls for. I think Mbappe checked back in quite a bit to try to get a lot of touches on the ball. But there's the areas that he occupies right now, especially when you're playing teams on a low block or teams that are just sitting back. A lot of the time, he only has time to take 1 or 2 touches. It's not like he can, collect the ball and then, turn to kind of, attack the defender. A lot they're just sitting right on him because they know that is the main threat. Even though Vinicius and Rodrigo are obviously threats in behind as well, but everyone is really hyper focused on Mbappe. So he doesn't get a lot of the ball. And like I said, he does make runs, but it is a work in progress. We're still working with him. It looks good in training. You see the training videos where Mbappe is really able to showcase a lot of his talents. But he doesn't have that space in the game. So it's going to be really incumbent on us to really try to figure out how we can play best with him, and whether that is being a lot more direct with balls in behind, or whether that's Arda Güler picking up balls on the byline and playing balls in behind, and or whether it's rather than crossing into the far post, our crosses need to be at the top of the box. a quick, like, there's been a few times whether it was Carvajal, whether it was, Vinicius with a quick, a quick cross to the top of the box where Mbappe or Arda Güler met it. Maybe those are the best spaces for our forwards to really, have an attacking threat. So like I said, Mbappe at 7. Fran Garcia. I'll give Fran Garcia. I think I had a solid game also. Probably like a high 7 as well. Like I said, he made a lot of overlapping runs. He was good in cover. Like I said, his physicality is one of the best in the team. So he's able to expend a lot of energy going up and down on that left flank. A lot of times they didn't pass him the ball. For whatever reason, doesn't seem like the Brazilians like to pass him the ball. Just from my honest opinion, it looks like Brahim was more willing to play him the ball. Maybe that's because there might just be closer in training. But like I said, I've had a lot of criticism for Fran Garcia in the past 2 matches, but I thought he had a good game today. Endrick had probably like 4 or 5 minutes and he got a goal, so I have to give him an 8. All the pressure of having a debut, at the Bernabeu, debut in La Liga, so he didn't have a lot of touches of the ball, but the touches on the ball that he had were highly efficient. Brahim made a great run, beating 2 to 3 people. He stayed on side. He checked his run. He was able to collect the ball and able to shift it onto his weaker foot and put the shot on target. So he was able to score a goal. So it's great to see. He's had a lot of criticism. People are gunning for him for whatever reason. I think this, whether that stems from Barcelona, whether it's because there seems to be a lot of hype for him, but I thought he took that pressure on well and, he was able to get his first goal of the season. We also have Militao. Militao, I will put an 8. I thought he had an excellent game. Very physical. It seems like he's confident. He's coming back into form. He had an assist. Consistently, harassing the forward. So I thought Militao had an excellent game, and hoping that continues. Brahim, I will give Brahim a high 7. It could be an 8. Honestly, I can possibly give him an 8. I just gave him a 7 because of the amount of time that he on the field. Actually, no, you know what? I take that back. He got a goal. He had a goal and assist, actually. So he gets an 8, if not close to like a higher 8.5 to close to 9. I think about like 30 or so minutes on the field, he got a goal and assist, was ever present throughout the attack. I think one of the best things about Brahim, if you play him, when you play him when the game is stretched, he's excellent on the half turn. He plays with pace. He's very direct, and he makes things happen, So I thought he had an excellent game. I think every single time he comes on the pitch, he makes a case for himself to be playing quite a bit. Between Arda Güler and him, it's hard to say who deserves it more. But I do believe that he's an excellent addition and an excellent amount of depth. If you put him in any of the attacking lineups, I don't see any really much drop off. So I think he had an excellent game, and I think we should see a lot more rotation, especially if we're playing against Las Palmas on Thursday. Arda Güler, I will give him a high 7. I won't give him an 8, but I'll give him a high 7. I thought he had his best moments when he was coming off of the right-hand side, instead of playing at that number 10 position. When he played like him and Rodrigo would interchangeably switch, and you would have Rodrigo like right underneath the striker, Mbappe, or playing off to the left with Vinicius, and you had Arda Güler kind of occupying that right byline and be able to pick up the ball on his left foot and kind of cut in and make balls in behind or take shots or arrive at crosses from the left-handed side. I think that's when it was most dangerous. I had some concerns with Güler playing in the midfield just because of his frame. Obviously, he's gone a lot stronger, and you can see physically he's gone stronger from the pictures from his his debut season into now. But it's still, for me, something that I think he needs to work on, and whether that's something that he needs to work on or whether his best position might be a right wing, inverting. That's obviously for the coaching staff to figure out. But like I said, he kind of grew into the game once he's on the ball. He really influences the game, whether it be the attacking threat with his shooting or his quality to play balls in behind, or even in the Jude Bellingham, Frank Lampard, arriving into the ball late. Like I said, that he had one or two opportunities to really, get on the board, and he was just a little bit unlucky. So, good outing from Güler. I think he did stake a claim to, play some more. So, with Bellingham out, I do see Güler starting more and more. And then lastly, we have Carlo Ancelotti. I'll give Carlo an 8. Carlo Ancelotti, I'll give him an 8, especially because it looks like he learned from his mistakes. Um, Throughout Carlo's time, he seems to trust a few players. Players that have gotten through to the end. That he'll stick with them, and most oftentimes he won't sub until like the 80th minute. Oftentimes it feels like we're stuck and we're not able to break down a low block or things aren't working. He continues to play the same players rather than going to the bench and trying something new. I think he heard the criticism from last game about the subs coming on way too late, bringing on players in the 88th minute. It does not give him enough time for them to get rhythm into the game and really affect the game. So he's decided to make subs at the 65th minute, which is pretty good for him. Sometimes, you can do subs even sooner than the 65th minute, but, he allows the players to play at least 20 minutes into the second half and then make the subs. I think that it's good that he rotated a lot of the players. I was surprised that he took off, especially the front three. He took all three of them out. And Guler, and played Ceballos, and played Modric, played Endrick. I was surprised to see Endrick. I actually thought Endrick wasn't going to play until Copa del Rey, but he got his La Liga debut. So I'm very happy. I was scared that he wasn't going to rotate his players enough, and then you're going to start seeing reports of players being like, they want to leave or they're unhappy. But I'm glad to see that he's learned from his mistakes so soon. And, is giving everyone a run out there. And then look at that, as soon as he made the subs, those players, two subs that came in after like the 65th, I think they came in the 68th minute, with Brahim and Endrick, they got onto the scoreboard. So that must be good for the dressing room and everything like that. But those are my player ratings for today's game against Real Valladolid. We won 3-0. Mbappe still hasn't scored yet, but I'm pretty sure with once he stops having so much pressure on him, he will eventually, the goals will start raining in. I thought Valverde was man of the match. He was ever present and everywhere from the build up to even goal scoring. So I thought he did excellent. Vinicius had somewhat of a quiet game, but we've seen this with Vinicius. When the business end of the season happens, he's always there. We didn't really miss Jude too much in the first half. I thought we did. We missed his physicality, but I think in the second half, our quality shone through for us to get the win in the end. But you guys tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you guys think of the game? What should we have changed? What formation? Let me hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, Talking Madrid. You'll see this probably on Talking Madrid clips or on more Talking